Yo, what up, y'all? Randy Rude Boy Brown, and I'm here in the tiny office, which is my office, the Tiny Octagon. Welcome. We took a little break, and now we are back. And we're back for the right card, UFC 309. We got 3 fights on this card I want to talk about. Super excited, I know you are, so let's get into it. First fight, let's get right into it. We're gonna do 3. Here's the first one. I got Bo Nickal versus Paul Craig. Another alley-oop for your boy Bo Nickal, right? Listen, I think that I would love to see him more active, but I think the UFC is doing a great job with him. I think that they're giving him time to develop outside of the octagon. You got a prospect, you got to give him time to develop outside, right? Build him up a little bit, and then give him the right matchups. I think this is a small step up in competition for him, which is great. And Paul Craig is, you know, we've seen him, he's been around, he's a vet, he wins some, he loses some. But he is a dangerous grappler in his own right. Bo Nickal is known to be a phenomenal grappler. You know, his history of his wrestling credentials and all that stuff are pretty amazing. So I think that this is a good fight. It's not not super dangerous fight, but it's a great fight to kind of test his level a little bit. And I like it. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and pick. I'm gonna pick Bo Nickal to get the job done. But I would love to see him a little bit more frequently in the octagon, because I think he has a ton of potential. All right, let's talk about this co-main event. This co-main event is interesting to me. Obviously, 2 great fighters, 2 great personalities. People love these guys. They're must-see TV. But I got another hot take, y'all. I don't love this fight. I don't love it. We've seen this happen already. We've seen this fight play out. The fight that we should be seeing right now, it should be Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. That's what it should be. Chandler was waiting. How many days has he been out? He's been out over 500 days. I've seen him on social media. He's been working. He's been staying fit. I had a personal conversation with him in New York a couple months ago, and he told me that he doesn't train MMA. When he doesn't have a fight, he's just staying fit. He's just working out. He's lifting. He's running. He's just almost like a triathlon type of guy or a CrossFit type of training. He's just lifting and he's staying fit because he doesn't want to take any unnecessary damage, which is understandable. But you look at a guy like Charles Oliveira, someone who's been in the game, who's consistent. He wasn't out for that many days. He's been fighting. He's been active. You know, the guy has been in the gym sparring and doing all these stuff. So we've seen this fight play out already. There's a lot of demand, I guess, because people like these guys. I'm gonna watch it. I love watching Charles Oliveira fight. I love watching Michael Chandler fight. But was this the fight? I'm not sure if this was the fight. I would love to see another prospect come up and get another shot instead of the same guys again. But that's neither here nor there. The fight is happening, so you know what? I think Charles Oliveira is super dangerous still. Sharp punches, marching up the middle with those knees, amazing grappling. We know what we're gonna get with Charles Oliveira. You know, with Michael Chandler, what do we get? Excitement. He's must-see TV. The dude is coming forward, he's throwing bombs, he's in your face, he's bloody, he's nasty. It's just, you gotta watch, you can't look away. And that's what fans want, and I think that's what sells, and that's what the UFC wants. But something about the fight, we knows how this plays out. I'm gonna pick Chandler to win. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick Chandler to win. I think Chandler could get the job done this time if he can make the adjustments. I think because he was winning the first fight until he got, you know, finished. But yeah, it's not a fight that I want to see personally. I will watch it because of who they are. But yeah, I would have much rather see, you know, someone else getting there, like a younger prospect, get a shot at it. But it's an amazing fight. The card is amazing, and I'm gonna be tuned in. I'm gonna be locked in. I'll be front row center, ready to see some violence. So, all right, it's the return of the GOAT, y'all. Return of the GOAT. Yo, I like Jon Jones. I think Jon Jones is, people like to say arguably, I think there is no argument there. Jon Jones is the greatest MMA fighter of all time. You got a lot of people who just came into MMA, and some would say Khabib, some would say this person, that person. You know how I feel about the GOAT conversation though, right? I think there could be many GOATs. But if we're speaking about the GOAT, based off of just the numbers and the stats, it gotta be Jon Jones, right? Everyone has their favorites. I have my favorites. To me, my GOAT, Anderson Silva, right? Everyone has their GOAT. But facts are the facts, Jon Jones is the #1 pound for pound king. So he's now taking on Stipe Miocic, a legend, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Now, here's the thing with this fight, and I got another hot take that I had for y'all, and last time I said this on my YouTube channel, y'all killed me. So I'm a little nervous to say it again, but I don't think Jon Jones is proven at heavyweight yet. Not yet. I think that Cyril Gane had a glaring hole that he took advantage of, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do, being the great fighter and the great champion that he is. I think that's what you do when someone has a hole, right? But that was his only fight at heavyweight. I think that now what he's doing is chasing legacy. I think this is a great fight for him to go out there and beat a guy like Stipe Miocic, and that will solidify him as a legitimate heavyweight, in my opinion. Then, if he wants to, only if he wants to, then you could take on a young killer like Tom Aspinall or someone. But I do think that for his legacy, this is a great fight, and this is a great fight for him to show that he is the greatest fighter of all time. This is about, cementing legacy and breaking records, and I think this is a great fight for him. So Stipe presents a lot of issues, man. Stipe is the blue collar GOAT, right? The guy that's he's still a fireman to this day. He's grinding day in, day out. But the only thing is, we don't know is what has he been doing all this time he's been out. He's another guy that's been out, what is it, over 500 days, right? Maybe over 1,000. He's been out for so long. So what has he been doing in this whole time? We don't know. Is he living life? Is he just having a good time? Is he like, or is he just working, being a fireman? We don't know what he's doing, right? But we know what Jon Jones has been doing. He's been preparing, and he's been grinding, and he's been having fights. So it depends on what Stipe shows up. Honestly, I don't care what Stipe shows up. I really don't. I think Jon Jones is going to smoke whoever Stipe shows up. But one version will be able to test Jon Jones, and the other will not be able to test Jon Jones. So we'll see what happens. And I would love to see Jon Jones tested and break through that and solidify himself even more so as just the greatest of all time, and just cement that part of his legacy. And if he wants to retire, that'll be good. And if not, if he wants to go take on someone like Tom Aspinall, then he goes and do that. Side note, if he fights Tom Aspinall and he loses to Tom Aspinall, does that make him not the greatest of all time anymore? Does that affect his legacy in any way, given his age, given it, Tom Aspinall's age coming up? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think if he beats a young prospect, or if he loses to that young prospect at heavyweight, which is not his original weight class, I think it does nothing. I think maybe not a great look, but I don't think that it affects his legacy as much as people may think it will. So, but if he wins, it does actually. It makes him that much more great. That's just what it is. All right. So, on that note, Johnny Bones. I think Johnny Bones gets the job done. That's UFC 309, Tiny Office, my tiny office, which is the Octagon. That's it. It's a wrap. I have an amazing guest for y'all next time. It's going to be pretty fun for UFC 310. That's the card that I'm fighting on. So we got a lot to talk about. So I'll see you guys then. Peace.